Morning. We are back to Bava Metzia. Zahav Taho. What a golden, beautiful parak. And Zu is giving me a hard time right from the start, of course. What's the date today?
The secular day?
What's it?
The 29th.
You did not fall into the trap. You people impress me and amaze me. It's Chav Tes Teves. Very nice. Tomorrow's Rosh Chodesh, and today's Chav Tes Teves, the last day of Teves. So let's have a nice finish.
9:30.
Tomorrow 9:30, please God, because it's Rosh Chodesh. Okay. Mhm. Rosh Chodesh, yeah. Okay. Gufa 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 lines from bottom of the page. We're going to see all these weird stuff on the whiteboard will all be explained. Gufa Omar Chizkiah. Chizkiah made a statement regarding Maaser Sheni. What did Chizkiah say? Maaser Sheni she'en bo shov prutah. Let's say Maaser Sheni, you have a fruit of Maaser Sheni that is not worth one prutah. You know these like dry, not so nice raisins. Yeah, that dry little raisin is not shava prutah. Okay, it's not worth even one prutah. Let's say. So let's say you want to be Maaser, you want to be mechalel Maaser Sheni. In other words, it is part of Maaser Sheni. It is part of Maaser Sheni. And part of Maaser Sheni, instead of taking it to Yerushalayim, you're not going to schlep to Yerushalayim just one raisin, right? What do you want to do? You want to be mechalelit on what? On money. What's funny? Mechalit on money. One raisin. Should I travel to Yerushalayim, start going in the crowded bus? The guy lives in Afula, in Metula. So therefore, what's going to be? Yeah, Nun Beis Amud Beis, a few lines from the bottom of the page. So what do? You're not allowed to be mechalel. Not allowed to. It's not going to be effective to be mechalel something less than shve prutah when the coin, on a coin, it doesn't catch. Only something shove pruta is valuable enough and worthy enough to catch on a matbea and have chilul. But if you already have, says Chizkiah, oimer, what should you do then? Let's say I have a seller. That seller, that's a big coin. That seller was mischalel on previous coins, on previous fruit. He had a lot of nice, fancy fruit worth a lot of money, and the kedusha of those fruit worth prutos and shkolim, a lot of money is already all full already of their kedusha, because the kedusha was transferred. We say that once you have a matbea that already has kedushas Maaser Sheni mechulal on it, then the lesson shepruta, you see him, the cute one. Afterwards, we're going to explain why the diagram here. But that little shmunzel letzitzikel, the lesson shepruta, he can litfos tramp. How do you say litfos tramp? He can hitchhike. He can ride. He can jump on the bandwagon. In other words, once you already have kedusha field coin, it doesn't say now, it's called kedusha field coin. Sounds so nice. If you have a coin that's full of kedusha almost, and we know that the kedusha never takes the entire capacity because that's the way it's supposed to be, we assume that there's a little bit of space. Obviously, it's not the way it is. Yeah, we're talking in theoretical things here, but to show graphically, now this lesson shve pruta can actually catch and it can be mechalel its kedusha on a coin that already has existing kedusha from previous maaser that was worth much more money. That's Chizkiah's concept, and that's what's going to follow us the entire day today. This hour, and then you're going to think about it all day long. Why does it work? Says the Gemara, third line from the bottom of the page. Because a person that, let's say, had kedusha of something that is almost sela, he was mechalelit on a sela. In other words, when a person is mechalel the money, the kedusha of the fruit over money, he doesn't do betzimtzum, he doesn't do it in a hair splitting way, but rather he is mechalelit, always leaving a little bit of space. We can rely on that space left. And now, if you have a tiny bit, a cutesy little bitsy witsy incy spider, not a spider, I mean a less than shve pruta what of fruit, now you can take a ride and fill in the extra space, so to speak, of kedusha, and let less than shve pruta can be mischalel on that matbeh that already has kedusha on it. It doesn't really work that way, but generally speaking, the way we see it now, that's the way it works, and that's Chizkiah's statement. Now Chizkiah will go under very heavy attack, back and forth, and he'll come out alive. Basically, So far, so good. Baruch Hashem. Meisivi. Says the Gemara now, brings down the Gemara question from a Mishnah in Bikurim. Now this Mishnah, as we saw already last week, the Mishnah is going to compare 2 against 1. The Mishnah will show the similarity between Truma and Bikurim, because Bikurim are also called Truma in the Torah. Truma Siyodcha Bikurim, vis-a-vis against who? Against Maaser Sheni, which is different to those 2. In what are they different? Meisvi. Truma v'Bikurim, both Truma and Bikurim, Chayovin alein Misa. One who eats them is going to die early. Anybody who eats them? No. Well, only if he's not a Kohen. People, like most people in this room, except for one person. There's one person in this room. You guess who? Yeah, that. Don't turn around. That if he eats a Truma and Bikurim, it's a mitzvah. Everybody else who eats Truma and Bikurim, if we eat them b'mezid, yeah, we snap your Truma and Bikurim, you can protect yourself very easily. And you say, listen, guys, it's Misa b'dei Shamayim. Do what you want. Yeah, then Chas v'Shalom is Zar. A person who's a non-Kohen who eats those things is going to chayev Misa b'dei Shamayim. That's a little bit better than Kores, but still not amazing. It's before the age of 60. Yeah. The Choymesh. What's Choymesh? If the person eats them and he's not, by the way, even a Kohen, by the way, beware, my friend, if a Kohen eats Truma or Bikurim when he's Tomeh, yeah, when he is not pure, then he also, b'mezid, he also gets Misa b'dei Shamayim. The Choymesh, as opposed to Maaser. Maaser Sheni. If I eat Maaser Sheni in Beth Shemesh or in Bnei Brak or anywhere outside Yerushalayim, it's really not nice, but it's not Chayav Misa. It's not Chayav Misa. Now, the Choymesh is what? A fifth. If I b'shoigeg went to Yaakov's house and I mistakenly took the Truma, Bikurim you can't eat here. Bikurim you have to eat in Yerushalayim. I went to your studio house in Yerushalayim. I ate the Bikurim over there. By mistake, I didn't know it's Bikurim. Why didn't you put a sign? So then what do I have to do? I have to pay you back plus a fifth. A fifth, which is really possibly a fourth. By the way, I hesitated a little bit on Thursday about a korban, and I felt like a real fool because I was like 95+% sure that there's no korban you have to bring. I was right, but I was also right hesitating because there are some shittas to say that they have to bring a korban. It's a very, very strange thing. It's not the halacha. Most people would say if you eat truma b'shoigeg, you don't bring a korban. You only bring a korban if you eat kodshim b'shoigeg, or if you embezzle kodshim b'shoigeg, not truma. Let's continue. And all that doesn't apply to Maaser Sheni. Let's continue to today's Amud. The asurim lezorim. A zal, a non-kohen, is not allowed to eat neither truma nor bikurim. What does that mean? What's the chiddush over here? Well, of course it's osur. We just said yichav misa. Then obviously it's osur. Says Rashi, enochinami. Yeah, maybe if you see Rashi inside, it's the first Rashi. It's easy to locate. You're not allowed to eat it if you're not a kohen. You have to say that, even though we already know chav misa. Because the contrast for Maaser comes to tell me that by Maaser there's no Isser whatsoever for anybody to eat the Maaser Sheni. Yeah, that's the chiddush. Okay, Tosfos says differently. What does Tosfos say? Tosfos says Asur Mezorim comes to tell me that the Isser is even on less than a kazai, so less than shve prutah. Chatz Shiur also min Torah. Right? To eat a little bit of chazer, a little bit of chometz, a little bit of cheeseburger is not chayev malchus or chayev chorus or chayev whatever, each one to its own, but there's an isser lefi Rabbi Yochanan midoraisa. The chiddush says Tosfos Shantz. I saw at the end, Mechavrusa showed me, he said, Mechavrusa emailed me that actually, that the chiddush is that even though it's not an isser, truma and bikurim are not chazer. They're a mitzvah to eat for some people. For some people, it's not allowed. The chiddush is, even then, a little bit of a grain, a little bit of less than kazais is also, even then. And all that doesn't apply to Maaser. Vehen weiter. Let's continue with the list. Yes? Thank you. No, you do. You do have to eat betara. You have to eat betara. You have to eat betara, but not chayav misa. I don't think it's chayav misa. By Maaser Sheni, you have to eat betara, yes. Yeah. That's why it doesn't say, it says Misa, Asurim Lezorim, Maaser Sheni, of course, is Mutar Lezorim in Yerushalayim. Yeah. Now, Behen Nichse Koyen. What's Nichse Koyen? The Bikurim and the Truma, and that's a Chiddush, are completely owned by the Kohen. As opposed to what? As opposed to what? As opposed to a Korban. A korban, for example, a kohanim is Beis Hamikdash. If a kohen wants to be mekadosh his dear lady, anyhow, she can't enter that area in Beis Hamikdash, but with a bit of korban chatos, no, it's only yours to eat. Mishulchan gavoya. It's not yours for any purpose. You don't own it. You're allowed to eat it because Hashem allows you. When it comes to truma or bikurim, those things belong to the kohen. They belong to the kohen completely. A kohen baby mekadosh, he's kala, he's bashert by who? By giving her the truma or the bikurim, or he can do whatever he wants with it. Now, as opposed to who? That's a chiddush. As opposed to Maaser Sheni. What do you mean? Is Maaser Sheni mine? No. The Maaser Sheni you take to Yerushalayim, that's a big chiddush. According to Rabbi Meir, it's machloikis. According to Rabbi Meir, I have Maaser Sheni. Beautiful. Everyone here in the neighborhood seems to grow lemons. So I'll say lemons, even though it's machloikis, the rice of the Rabbanon. Lemons of Maaser Sheni. You take them to Yerushalayim, squeeze them hard. Where? Have them with your tea in not with your tea, that's water. Eat them where? In Yerushalayim, but they're not yours. You know, you're only allowed to eat them, but not to do anything else with them. Or of course you can be mechalal them. By the way, this is very, 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 very simple, basic knowledge here. That's why it's not in Zoom. What do you do with Maaser Sheni? Really, the errors are wrong. Ideally, eat in Yerushalayim, right? Or alternatively, redeem them where? Anywhere outside Yerushalayim in Eretz Yisrael. Right? That's I know you know that. It just in your face is easier to remember. So now, here comes the fun. The oilim be'echadumea. Oilim be'echadumea, which means Nidoraisa, we all know that the concept of a rove applies, which means if a piece of chicken, don't say this to the women. It's a secret, men only. Only men and Shulchan Aruch. We know that from Rabbi Yosef Karo. The women disagree. What happens if a piece of chicken, nothing to do with 60? I was born after the 60s. I don't know about 60. Yeah, I'm not into all this permissiveness of 60s. So let's say you have a piece of chicken that's straight, but looks exactly, smells exactly the same teriyaki sauce. Treif chicken from Tim McKenzie. You know Tim McKenzie? You're going to get to know him. Yeah, sure. And you have two, he exists here. He's the whatever. So now you have two pieces of chicken, but is Rubin also. And you have one piece of chicken which is treif, they all look the same, mixed up together. You can't recognize. Me'ikar adin, you can eat all three. Many questions, all three together, one each time, but leave one. The ikaron, all three are, it's batel beroiv. It's annulled by the roiv. I'm not going to all the details there, but that's halacha in Shulchan Aruch. Because they're dry, very nice. 60 is only if there is a ta'aruvas, if there is a plitos that come to the whole thing. They're dry and nice. Now, cold cuts. Now, don't try it at home. Yep. So now, not when your wife watches, that's for sure. Now, when it comes to truma and bikurim, Chazal were more machmir. It's Medorabonon. Remember that. You have to remember now the details. Chazal told us, no, truma and bikurim people were, I think the reason is, I'm almost trying to remember, is because people tend to be more mekel, because it's not chazir and it's not cheeseburger. And therefore, their Chazal said it's only botel by 101. 101. Yeah, in other words, one grape of truma or bikurim fell into 100 other grapes that are not truma, that are kosher to eat for you, Israel. Then, no, you can't eat the entire bunch. Give it to a kohen, if they're Torah. Only if there's 101 against it, only then it's misbatel. Wow. And that's a chiddush d'Rabbanan. Okay? And that applies to who? That applies to Truma Bikurim as opposed to Maaser. All the time you have to remember that there is an arch enemy, you told me to say. Yeah, there's an arch enemy against Truma and Bikurim called Maaser. Maaser is the other party, the opposition. Whatever we say about Truma Bikurim, just the opposite applies to Maaser Sheni. So Maaser Sheni, how would it be misbatel? What do you guys think? We don't have the chumrah of 101. Only then it's misbatel. Only then it's annulled and kosher. That it kosherizes it and you can eat the whole thing. So what happens if I have a grape of, or a grain, or a fig, or whatever, of Maaser Sheni, and I'm in Bet Shemesh? Am I allowed to eat the fig, bug-free fig of Maaser Sheni in Bet Shemesh? No way. Without chilul? What happens if the fig fell into two figs that all look the same? What do you say? Can I eat it? Yes. Yes. Only by here. Look inside the Gemara, my friend. Look inside the Gemara and Gimel Dalet. Absolutely. And so make two and two together. By Truma Bikurim, we say that they're misbatel by 101. By them we apply the Chumrah. In Maaser Sheni, we don't. So Maaser Sheni remains like a chicken. remains like anything, remains like a regular Isser, and it's misbatel baroiv. And here starts trouble, nice and slow, it's creeping in. Reb Chizkiah will be in trouble soon. V'teunin rechitzas yadayim. Teunin rechitzas yadayim. What's teunin rechitzas yadayim? That is natilas yadayim. Tosfos says, not like I told you before, that both Maaser and Truma, they all require natilas yadayim when you're about to eat it. V'shenken and Truma and Bikurim are holier than Maaser Sheni, as we see, l'rova inyonim. And their chazal were goyzer, even if you touch them. You're not allowed to touch them. Are you allowed to touch bread without washing your hands? Yes. Are you allowed to touch Truma, Bikurim without washing your hands? No. It's an extra chumrah of Truma. Truma and Bikurim have many more chumras than Maaser. Maaser Sheni, you only wash your hands before you eat it, mamish. That's not the issue now. Let's not talk about Yosef. We have enough on our plate. Excuse the pun before. Arab Shemesh, as we all know, the first Mishnah on Barachoth, in Tractate Barachoth. What does it say? The Kohanim can only eat the Truma and apparently Bikurim, which happens to be now Truma's good friend. They made a coalition together, Truma and Bikurim, the dark government. Truma and Bikurim together, what about them? They have to have Arab Shemesh. If you're Tomeh and you're Kohen, you have to go to the mikveh, wait until nighttime, and then eat. Mashenken Maaser Sheni, who eats Maaser Sheni? Only Kohanim? No, wait. Maaser Sheni is any Tom, Dick, and Harry. Well, any Chaim, Yankel, or Sprinzel. Yeah, any Jew that eats Maaser Sheni may eat the Maaser Sheni, even though it's Tomeh, providing he went to the mikveh. I'm not talking about Tumas Mace, the whole 7 days process. You touch the sheretz, go to the local ritualarium, and then you are good to go to eat your Maaser Sheni. All very nice. And the Mishnah concludes, the above list is what applies to Bikurim, as opposed to Maaser. Now the Gemara wants to tell you what I just told you a few minutes ago. What does it mean, Mashenken b'Maaser? What did the Mishnah mean when it compared or actually distinguished between Truma Bikurim and Maaser Sheni? Lav michlal de Maaser botil berube. We're trying to say here, this little guy over here, the shove chatzi, not yet. This Maaser Sheni, this little bit of Maaser Sheni is botil berov. There are two other regular chulin, other regular fruit. Let's say that's half a grape. These are 2 grapes. They way over outnumber it. It's botel barov, and it's botel barov. Yeah. Now let me introduce you to a rule that I'm almost sure that most of you know, if not all of you. It's a rule at the beginning of Beitza. We all know about botel barov, right? We don't have the extra chumrah of 101. 101 is a special chumrah. It only applies to Truma and Bikurim and dogs, whatever. But it doesn't apply to what? It doesn't apply to the regular things like Maaser. Very nice. There is a rule in the Torah that says, Rabbanon made the Chumrah. Bitul Barov in food only applies to food that, to say it in nice English, please prepare your tissues, food that has no chance. That piece of chicken that's strafe, will never become kosher, right? If Tim McKenzie shot the chicken in the head, didn't shecht it properly, will be treif. Very, very sad. No tikkun. So if something has no takona, has no matirin, davar she'ein la matirin, what's the only hope? Batel v'roiv. It's also to do it lechatchila. But if the piece of, we know that, the piece of chicken of Mackenzie, the treif one, fell into other pieces of chicken of Chaim Yankel, then together the bottle, providing is no hope. That really makes everything fall apart. Maaser Sheni is no hope. How can Maaser Sheni be bottle? It's an oxymoron. It's the biggest contradiction in the world. Maaser Sheni has a galore of opportunities, which Maaser Sheni has no chance. What are you talking about? What kind of, I shouldn't say nonsense, Maaser Sheni. L'chatchila, you're supposed to either go to Yerushalayim, take the bus to Yerushalayim, excuse me, lazy boy. Take the bus to Yerushalayim with your grapes and eat it over there. That's a beautiful takonin. Make him do a mitzvah and eat it there. It's too heavy, too hard. You have a dentist appointment today? Okay. Then you can redeem it in Bet Shemesh, and everything is good. So Maaser Sheni's bottle barov, excuse me. How can you say that? Maaser Sheni is definitely dover sheyesh lematirin, and dover sheyesh lematirin is not bottle. For example, the Gemara in Beitza, if I remember correctly, I didn't learn Beitza in years. The Mishnah there at the beginning talks about something born in Yom Tov, therefore is muktzah. Last time I checked, I'm not sure. I think Orthodox Jews are makpid on muktzah only in Shabbos and Yom Tov, right? All right. Are you allowed to touch this? It's Sunday. So therefore, a Beitza born in Yom Tov, which is muktzah, is not botel barov. Why? Because on Sunday will be okay, or post Yom Tov will be okay. So therefore, this Maaser Sheni is not takana. You what? Must be, and this is all the subtext without the Gemara. That's all in Rashi. Must be. Look how nice. Must be this little pitzkale whose bottle is tome. Because it's tome, must be tome. It was touched by a cute little dead lizard. Cute. And therefore, you can't eat it in Yerushalayim. Option one is out because it's tome. And also, it's less than shver prutah. And less than shver prutah, you can't redeem. Because it's less than shver prutah, there's no way you can redeem the less than shver prutah. There's no such solution of redeeming the one less than shver prutah. So because all the roads are blocked and it has no chance, poor thing. Therefore, it's batel barov. Right? Very good. So you all agree, yeah? There is no way a less than shver prutah can be redeemed on money. Yeah? Really? And therefore, there's no chance. If there's no chance, dover she'en lo matirin, batel be'oiv. Oh, very nice. Obviously, if you followed me from the beginning of Shiur, this is something very, very wrong here for who? For Chizkiah. Because we're saying that there's no way to redeem the one that's less than shver prutah. Yeah? Well, frag the Gemara, ve'im isa de Chizkiah, if you believe Chizkiah, if Chizkiah is right, Baruch Hashem, ve'im isa de Chizkiah, habelo davar sheyesh lo matirin. According to Chizkiah, less than shver prutah has a solution. What's the solution according to Chizkiah? Take the less than shver prutah and make it. You ever took someone a ride? That people who stand in Ramah bed, sticking their hands. I try to do as much as I can. Yeah. Well, take a ride. What did Chizkiah say? Yeah, less than shver prutah has a solution. There is remedy. There is hope. And that is what? Take a matbea that already was redeemed on other stuff, has some space left, and the less than shver prutah can be misbat, can be nifta over there. Yeah. The Choldova Shesh Material continues the Gemara. Anything that has material, that has a chance, that has a way to become allowed, meaning can divest it of its kedusha by redeeming it on what? On a coin that is almost full but not full, right? Choldova Shesh Material. If you be'elef loy batil, it's not battle even with 1,000. Yeah, and therefore, that is the problem that's gonna be the problem till almost the end of the page. I can see that it needs repetition. Again, the only reason why we say that something, anything, it could be Maaser, Truma, chicken, Basa, B'chol, conceptually, let's be broad-minded. Any Isser that's batel beroiv is only an Isser that has no chance. Dovo she'ein loy matirin, which makes sense, by the way. Maybe if I explain to you the Svara, you'll understand better. Rab Chazal said, have you ever heard the term instant gratification? That's today. Say Chazal, delay your gratification. In other words, you really, really want to eat that item, and you say it's batel beroiv, it's mouth-watering, the beautiful piece of chicken. Well, that's not a good example. That very nice little grape over here. Wait, why are you telling me to eat it when it's batel beroiv? There will be a heter. Yeah. There will be the heter. David and Bathsheba, it says. Bathsheba was meant to be for David. I'm not inventing it. The Gemara says that David and Bathsheba, she was really meant to be the mother of Mashiach. He didn't wait long enough. And that's why it was to a certain extent. And one. And therefore, and therefore, when we have an item that has no chance, such as a treifa chicken, it's batel beroiv. If mistakenly it fell into the pot of your holy cholent to Friday, it's batel beroiv. Just don't tell your wife, and everything is good, right? Now. You're telling me that this is batel beroiv. You're telling me, in other words, that the Maaser Sheni has no hope. Which Maaser Sheni has no hope? Normal Maaser Sheni can either be, it has hope, should be eaten in Yerushalayim, take it from Beit Shemesh to Yerushalayim and eat it for heaven's sake, or redeem it here on a matbea and eat it here in Beit Shemesh. Must be we blocked both exits. Must be that we're talking here about something that's tome. You can't eat it in Yerushalayim because it's tome. And tome, it cannot be eaten. Maaser Sheni tome cannot be eaten. And why can't you redeem it? Because it's not valuable. Because it's pachos mishver prutah. Must be that, as we explained, something which is less than shver prutah is not valuable enough to catch onto a coin and create kedusha on the coin. It's not strong enough. Ever was frustrated by low Wi-Fi or low electricity currents or low thing of water? That's it. Less than shver prutah is not powerful enough to catch kedusha. Okay. Now I understand the Mishnah. But the Mishnah was alluding to the fact we have a Maaser Sheni that has no other hope. He can be in Yerushalayim, and what's more important for us, it cannot be redeemed because it's less than Shve prutah, and therefore there's no hope. Fregdimar, it's not true. According to you, Chizkiah, there is hope. Because you just told me that although I can't be mechalit on a new coin, I can mechalit on an old coin that is 99% full. No, so there is hope. So why don't we just say that? And therefore it should not be misbatel. To start a new one, but it can join a ride. I don't know if all the Hasidim, which I love them all in Ramah Bet, if the stick out there, I don't know if they all have driving license, and for sure they're not insured to drive my car, but they can take a ride, and I like them. In other words, there's a difference between starting the kedusha in the coin rather than joining the kedusha. Yeah, how many employees are there in Coca-Cola? They didn't start the company, right? That's the same idea. There's a big difference. Starting, if you're less than Shua Pruta, you're garnished. But to join the party, bevakasha. But if that's true, then Chizkiah is in trouble deep. Not Chizkiah's statement. And that's a question that's going to accompany us through the whole thing. Call it whichever number you want. Yeah. That's the case. So better. So he says, but you can join other currencies. You can join an existing kedusha. Yeah. Video. Exactly. Exactamente. Weiter. You and then you. Yeah. Fred, the Gemara is trying in a false attempt, but the Gemara is making an attempt to maybe reread the Mishnah in a different way. Says the Gemara, maybe that's what Baruch you meant before. Fred the Gemara, how do you know that the Mishnah really said that? Mishnah didn't really say Mefurash that it's Batel Baroiv. What did the Mishnah say, by the way? The Truma and Bikurim, their Batel, what? Only in 101. Right? Fred the Gemara, how do you know that you read the words Mashe Enken B'Maiser as opposed to Meiser? How do you know read them the right way? There are two ways to, there are two very extreme different ways to read the line by Truma Druma Ubikurim, there's what? It's bottle 101, as opposed to Meiser. How do you know the bottle Beruba? Why did you assume right away that it's bottle 1/2, bottle Beruba? Dil Maloi bottle Klal. Maybe not. Maybe that's Gufa. Maybe we came to tell you that Maaser Sheni is never bottle. By Truma Bikurim, it's bottle 101. Precisely because of what we said, that what's his name has hope, there is chance for Maaser Sheni. Maaser Sheni is not bottle, not even in 1,000. That would actually be good with Chizkiah. Maybe just read and extrapolate the other way. Yeah, extract the other way. Says the Gemara, Lo Matzah Samartachi. You can't say that. Why? Because look at the general tone of the Mishnah. What's the Mishnah telling me? The Legabe Truma, if you noticed, most of the items listed in this Mishnah, Truma this, Truma that, Truma the other, Chumra de Truma Ktani. Because this Mishnah says Rashi is Mishnah of Bikurim, we're saying the good things about Bikurim, which are Chumras, brisker. Because the good things of Bikurim, this is Bikurim and Truma's home field. So it's telling me all the Chumras of Bikurim. Kule de Truma like Tani. We're not coming to say the easy stuff, the leniency, the coolest of Truma. And therefore it doesn't make sense to tell me that Truma Bikurim are easier and lighter and more lenient than Maaser. Must be the other way. Frankly, Gemara, that's not true. No, there's an exception to the rule. The Katani, look at one of the items mentioned in the Mishnah. It says V'nichsen Kohen. Hey, it says that the Truma and Bikurim fully belong to the Kohen, as opposed to Maaser that is not fully owned by the Bailim. So you see, you're wrong. Hey, you're wrong. In other words, maybe that Mishnah is giving me all kinds of different rules. L'chumra or l'kula. Some of the items are really better, are more machmir by Truma. Some are machmir by Maaser. Maybe Anachinami. Chizkiah will tell you that this item really has hope. Therefore, Yesh Lamatirin is not bottled even with 1,000,000, not only 1,000. And really, Truma and Bikurim are easier. They're bottled only 101. They're both more chomer than the chicken, the perfect chicken, which is roy. But Lamaisa, maybe Maaser's uber machmir like Chizkiah, and maybe really the kula is mentioned in the Mishnah, just like Nichse Kohen. Says the Gemara, and now it's heavy artillery. Now Chizkiah is going to be really seriously cornered. Game's over, almost. So the Gemara, this is all very nice, but loy sal kedaitach. Don't even think that way, because we have a mefurish Mishnah not like that. to play around with our Mishnah, we can somehow, squirm here and there. But look at the following brisa. The Tanya behed. What's behedia in Aramaic? Explicitly, we have here. The Tanya behedia. It says explicitly, black on white in the brisa. Listen to this. Maaser Sheni bottle beruba. Oops. Maaser Sheni bottle beruba. Before Shat right, black on white. Maaser Sheni bottle beruba. See, Maaser Sheni is misbatel if you have a roiv of non-Maaser Sheni. My Maaser Sheni raisin fell into a few raisins, one against two, let's say, of regular chulin, regular stuff from California. Yeah, they're all mixed together. I can't recognize them. Eat them all gesundheit in bechemesh without pidyon, regular. It's bottle baroiv. Ube'eze Maaser Sheni omu. What kind of Maaser Sheni is it that has no remedy, that has no chance? Double she'en l'matirin. Why can't you take the whole thing to Yerushalayim? And by the way, you're allowed to take the entire mixture to Yerushalayim too. You could. You're allowed to eat chulin in Yerushalayim. We do it today. Every time you go to the old city, you don't eat. Yeah. So Maaser Sheni omu. The Maaser she'en b'shvei prutah. Oh, things get worse and worse for Chizkiah. Maaser that has no shvei prutah and therefore has no chance of being redeemed or being nifde over a coin. That's not Chizkiah, right? Because there's no chance. It's bottle baroiv. Oh, yeah. And another item, which we'll discuss hopefully today or tomorrow, the shenichnes Yerushalayim beyotzo. I'm just translating now. Hear me and then put it in your freezer. Nichnes Yerushalayim beyotzo means, for now we assume Maaser Sheni that came to Yerushalayim. You took your actual grapes to Jerusalem in order to eat them. Then you got a phone call that you have a very urgent meeting in outside in Mamila. Mamila is already outside the Walton, right? In the shopping center. Your wife said you have to go to the shopping center right now. There's a dress on sale. In 1 minute it's going to be worth double. You have to buy it now. You quickly run out of the walled city into Mamila Center, and the grapes are with you. So the grapes that were inside the wall are now outside the wall. From some reason, they have no takona and they're not misbatel barov. Why? We discussed later, hopefully today. Let's now focus again on our good friend. It's that less than shvei prutah, right? It's less than shvei prutah. We assume that there is no remedy, no chance I can deal with that Maaser Sheni because it's less than shvei prutah. There's no way I can redeem it, okay? And therefore it's bottle baroiv. It has the same status as the treifa chicken from where? From Safeway. I don't know, American shops. Yeah, very nice. Frag the Gemara, the obvious question. Oh, now the question over Chizkiah will be there's going to be a big ping pong over here, a big duel between Chizkiah and the question. The Misal the Chizkiah starts question number one. If Chizkiah is right, then li'avad leila the Chizkiah. Do the Chizkiah thing. Li'avad leila the Chizkiah. Do as Chizkiah said. V'nechalei al moisar ishaynos. Well, according to you, Chizkiah, why is there no choice? The Gemara speaks in a constructive manner. Why are you telling me that there's nothing I can do? Then why? Take what? Take money that already was redeemed. A lot of other maaser was redeemed in it, but a little bit of space is left, and do the chilul. And if you do the chilul, there is hope, there is chance, there is remedy, and therefore it should not be misbatel barov. Answers Chizkiah, you're right. The loy porik. Chizkiah is making an ukimta, but not a very far off ukimta. You know what? The guy doesn't have such a coin in his house. I'm Chizkiah, stand by what I say. If the guy has really such a coin in his house, there would be a solution. It's batel barov because really he has no such coins in his house. Last time he already used all these coins in Yerushalayim last week, and the next time he's going to have Maaser Sheni. It will be in a year's time. Okay, he's a farmer, and only next year he's going to have Maaser Sheni. He has no such coins. All of you have coins of Maaser Sheni that's 99% full now. So just a bit, there's no such thing. Okay, Be'etzem I'm right, but here the case is not my case, says Chizkiah. Preg the Gemara, okay. V'nesi Maaser de Islay. Why can't we then suggest another idea? V'nesi Maaser de Islay. Bring another Maaser less than shvei prutah. Look how nice, what a beautiful shiduch. Yeah, bring another Maaser which is also less than shvei prutah. Okay, you see, there's one mixed and one not mixed. Why is saying that the mixed has no hope? Look what I'll do. I'll take the two together and together create a Maaser over a prutah, over one prutah, one piece, one prutah. Yeah, take him and another half together. I think half and half are one, right? Take half of shve prutah that is now in trouble, mixed with the other ones. Take another less than shve prutah that you have, and zusammen make the two of them mechulal on one. The two of them tovim eshnayim ino echod, and together, yeah, then shove prutah together can be redeemed on a new coin, can be nifda on a coin. Says the Gemara, v'nitztofinu, let them join forces, be worth one prutah. One prutah is enough energy, enough power to create kedusha over the coin, and then you don't need to be misbatel beroiv. Answers the Gemara, very interesting. Deoraisa v'derabanan loy mitztarfi. Oh, the Oraisa and the Rabbanon do not join together. They can't add. They don't add up. They can't join together. Who's the Oraisa and who's the Rabbanon here exactly? Well, I warned you before. This half is the Oraisa. Yeah, let's say I have another lemon in my garden, Ellen. Yeah, and therefore the lemon is small, and the Maaser Sheni of it is less than shve prutah. It's half the Oraisa. This guy is only the Rabbanon. Why is it only the Rabbanon? Because with the Oraisa, once it fell into two other pieces of lemon or raisins, whatever they are, then what? It's bottle beroiv. Rabbanon established the idea of a fil be'elef loy botil. But with the Oraisa, all pieces are bottle beroiv. Everything. The whole idea of something that Yova shesh lematil is on the Rabbanon. So with the Oraisa, this you can eat it deliciously now, whatever you want. Rabbanon imposed the chumrah. So because that's the Rabbanon, that's the Oraisa, they don't join together because they're not the same level of chumrah. Yeah, can your very educated, smart, nice 10 years old child or grandchild be moti birkas hamazon? He's so intelligent, best kid in cheder. You can't. Why? He's the Rabbanon, you're the Oraisa. It's not the same level, right? Yeah, can use an Israeli socket in England? No, only if you ever. It doesn't go together. They said, what? Very good. We're gonna try and play around that. But over here, that's the Oraisa, that's the Rabbanon. They just don't join. And Rashi says the real tragedy will be that this one, if you eat this one, you'll be over Nisa Doraisa. Maybe this one Seder, but this one, the Doraisa one, is really relying on being redeemed through a friend which is less than him, right? And they're not really redeemed together. And if you eat that by itself, you're over Nisa Doraisa. That's real bad stuff. That's bad news. And therefore it doesn't work. Okay. Mimei Chizkiah stays alive. He's fighting his fight. And therefore there's no takana. Really, there is takana. Basically, Chizkiah says one thing, and that should be your motto throughout, and that will help you understand everything. Chizkiah says, you know what, I'm right conceptually. There is a solution of mechalel on a big sela and get a bit extra. In this case, it's never feasible. He just explains, well, in this case of the Mishnah, all solutions can't work. Continues the Gemara with another question. B'neisi Dmai, very nice, similar to what you said, Yaakov. Bring Dmai. You said the Rais and the Rabbanon don't join. Bring another half Sheva Pruta, which is Dmai. What's Dmai? Dmai means what? Something. Hashash and no Hashash. Dmai is something, I'm not saying you're wrong. So you can all be friends in Shabbos, something. The Kitzer, Dmai is something commonly misunderstood, and of course in Masan's Cheder, they taught him the mistake, and I'm not talking about it to the Rebbe. Cheder, all good. I wrote to the Rebbe how very nice, and I thank the Rebbe. Now, Dmai means something that you bought from an Amoritz. Amoritz, whatever, is a person who's religious when he feels like, he's a Chafifnik. Light. You know the term light? Is the tea light. The tea light. Yeah, Helen, you don't know, whatever. Yeah, can you explain? The Kitzer, he keeps the mitzvahs when it suits him, when he feels like. More or less. Now, if you buy things from him, yeah, from that guy, so you buy fruit from him, it's not exactly a sofek, even though he's a bit of a thing, we assume that he most probably was Maaser, but because, let's say 34% he wasn't Maaser, we made the Gzera Rabbanon to view it as if it's not Gemaiser, but it's only with the Rabbanon. What I'm trying to say, Tzvi, is it's not exactly 50-50 sofek. Yeah, you buy from the stall of the guy who has a kippah that size, and the picture of Avadias is only hechsher, but not the other way around. Yeah, right. So then it's not a 50-50 chance. That's not Gzera Rabbanon. That's regular sofek d'oraisa. What do Rabbanon need to make a Gzera? Dmai is Rabbanon making a Gzera that even if I assume that most Amaratzim do take Maaser, who still made a Gzera the Rabbanon, big red letters, the Rabbanon, and we say we view new Isur Darabanan, just like Isur Darabanan to move Muktzah, Isur Darabanan on my, so now get the bit of difference? Yeah. Says the Gemara, wait, you concerned about the Raisa Darabanan? Make a Shidduch, Darabanan. This Darabanan is because it's bottle barov, and with the Raisa it's okay. And this is Dmai. Dmai is something you bought from a guy with a kippa grush. It's called kippa grush, yeah? Kippa with the size of a penny. shekel kippa. That guy, yeah. So he's also the Rabbanon, no? So the two Rabbanons, they can work together, and the whole thing is the Rabbanon, and Chil will be the Rabbanon. Very good. Says the Gemara, no. Dilma osila tuye vadai. We are concerned, maybe today you're going to bring the Mai. Tomorrow, your son or your wife or somebody less knowledgeable will mistakenly bring a vadai doraisa. And doraisa dorabanan don't join. It's a xera. Now, frag the Gemara like this. Frag the Gemara. Yeah. Okay, frag the Gemara. Frag the Gemara. Another possible solution. Venesi, again. Let's recap. How you very nicely said it, Baruch, about the voltage. What is the issue? Again, Chizkiah stands strong. Chizkiah says, and we all know we all know one thing is true, whether Chizkiah and us, that to start kedusha over prutah, you have to be worth a prutah. Nachon? Less than share prutah, it's like, even in the Israeli Knesset, so many parties, you have to have a minimum of votes to make it, right? You have to have a minimum of power to make a difference, true? So less than share prutah cannot create a kedusha on the coin. But if there's already existing kedusha, here Chizkiah came in b'mechadesh that half a prutah can take a ride on the bandwagon on the existing kedusha, right? We all agree to that, and we are doubting Chizkiah. Says the Gemara, you know what? Let's now invent something to make everybody happy. V'neisi shtei prutos, bring two prutos. We are still dealing with this misken here that we say is bottle beroiv. Because why bottle beroiv? According to Chizkiah, why? L'choira, there is chance of mechalel. If that's what we're going to suggest, according to Chizkiah, let's be mechalel, and therefore it should not be bottle beroiv. What's a new solution which should be good lefi Chizkiah? Bring two prutos. V'nechalel alayu meiser bepruto mechza. V'nechalel hay al hayech yesera. Bring two. Look what we're going to do now. Let's bring 1.5. Let's bring 1.5 prutos and another half, which is our friend, which is looking for a shidduch for a solution. And look what's going to happen. The 1.5 pruta, which should look as 1 unit, the 1.5, and they will catch this and this. They'll catch this and this. The 1.5 should together, zusammen, the 1.5 pruta, which we bring as a reinforcement, they should catch the seats in the car, 1 whole pruta and half pruta, and our good friend, the half, will catch this one, the other one over here. See? So he can catch a tramp, he can hop a tramp, he can hop a ride. So do 1.5 here, 1 on the pruta and half on the other pruta. And our friend, the half pruta, instead of being bottle barov, let him be chal on the half pruta, which is already occupied. And you, Chizkiah, you said that if the metzbeh is partially occupied with kedusha, can add kedusha of less than pruta on it. So maybe that should be a solution. Says the Gemara, no, it's not going to work. Misovas pruto mechza tofso shtei prutos. Do you think it's one party? A pruta and a mechza quickly catches the 2 prutos? Like 1.5 quickly? No, loy. No. They work separately. Pruto tofso pruto. V'chatzi pruta loy tofso. No, it's not going to work like that. The 1 pruta will catch 1, and the other half, this one will not catch anything. It will not catch. They're very selfish, the prutos. In other words, the way it's going to work, 1 pruta worth of fruit. This is fruit, by the way. The fruit worth 1 pruta. If you didn't understand, that's fruit. These are the beautiful leaves over here. The 1 pruta worth fruit is going to catch the pruta. That half will stay like a lemmer, like a klotz outside the circle, won't catch it, and he won't catch it either. And if you do want them both to catch this one together, if you want this half and that half to catch together, what's going to be? No, you can't have a club of miskenim together. Why? Again, you're back to square one. One of them is the Rabbanon, that's our guy, because Medoraisa is really what? Is really batel beroiv, only midorabon, and he's still called Maaser Sheni, wasn't misbatel. And this guy, this half is doraisa. Ay, but doraisa midorabon lemitztarfi. Ay, no solution. Chizkia chazak. Chizkia kishmoy kenu. Chizkia maintains very strongly. My case is a good case, but all these cases just don't work because when you have half a prutah and half a prutah, they don't join. You have to have a matbeh full of other prutahs, and then you can join. Now the Gemara asks the most obvious question. I don't know. The Gemara waited until now, maybe to give us a punchline. If you notice, the Gemara never asked the most obvious question. What? Frag the Gemara. Excuse me. Veneti Isar. You're talking nitpicking, penny pinching about half and half. Go big. Bring an Isar, which is relatively a bigger coin. Bring a Selah or Isar, big one, and finished. And do the Chizkiah thing. Bring an Isar. Be mechal on the Isar, all kinds of fruit. Originally, Chizkiah says he doesn't have one at home. So bring one. You ask a person, I don't have old clothes. He says, okay, I'll buy one. I'll buy. Yeah. You have any old clothes at home? I don't. So I'll buy. Yeah, in other words, so make it happen. Bring the worth more than prutah. Stop with all the little money. And be mechalal on it, shane pieces of novim, of zaysim, of whatever you want, right? Create a space over here and do the thing. Finished. Yeah, v'neisi isar. And says the Gemara, no, dilma osila tuye putois. We are concerned. That's why the Gemara left it to the end. Because we established already that if you bring one prutah and play half-half, and half prutah, doraisa prutah dorabanan, they don't mish. It's like basa b'cholov. They don't work together. If you bring, let's say, one shove pruta over here, sela, and then bring the other half shve pruta to join the party, that may lead to a mistake of taking one pruta and joining two together, and they don't work. The kids of Chizkiah survived it, guys. Give me ches, give me zayin. Again, Chizkiah says one thing: I am right, and really less than shve pruta may conceptually be redeemed on what? On a matbeya that has kedusha already, but a bit of space was left, and it's assumed space was left. You can join the tiny bit here. Why is it bottle beroiv? Why do you view it as helpless? Go look at the entire page. Explain to you why every solution you suggested is not helpful. And by the way, if he has one at home, it would work. Chizkiah started off in Ukimta and Chanami. The Bryce and the Mishnah spoke about a case in which the guy doesn't have that coin which we're looking for. And if the guy has such a coin in the house, Chizkiah would say the Mishnah doesn't apply. The Mishnah speaks about it. It's not such a far off Ukimta. The guy doesn't have that coin which happens to have Maaser Sheni, but not enough. He doesn't have it. Why not create a new one? Oh, because then he may create a matzav of one prutah and one prutah to share between two shtikalach. That's already dangerous. That's Chizkiah is right, and the Mishnah and Bryce are right. Everyone's happy. Now we can continue. Yeah. North Korea is on the lead. Yeah. It's a big compliment. Very good question asked by Rashi. And I want you guys maybe to answer the question. Leon is asking, yeah. Leon's asking, good, yeah. The new kid in class, good. Yeah, and Leon is asking that if we say that it's such a problem, Doraisa and Dorabanon, how can the big coin that has Doraisa join a Dorabanon, right? Because we're saying that's a Dorabanon because it's bottle beroiv. How can he join a Doraisa? What do you say? The answer is not so hard to understand. I'll give you, using my mashal, my wife and I both have driver's license, yeah, and also we both insured in our car. Yeah, okay. So when we go up north to Tveria, we drive together, not exactly together. Yeah, we share driving. Mashenka and the very, very nice, respectful chassid who sits in the back in Ramah Bet, he doesn't drive. What's the difference? Get it? In other words, when you already have a doraisa, when you have a driver, then the Darbanon can join. When the matbea has kedusha of Maaser Sheni, it's doraisa. Rabbanon is welcome to join the party, even if he doesn't have the license. But to create kedusha, and the minimum kedusha required is how much? A prutah, and half a prutah doraisa, prutah the Rabbanon. That's not good enough. That's the answer. Get it? That good question, good answer. Get it? Okay. Weiter. Recording. Okay. Now we're going to the second topic. Very, very interesting topic. And that is, I promised you, we have to now, unfreeze the very, very interesting statement of what? Of third line from the bottom. Another kind of Maaser Sheni, that has no remedy. Again, it's mixed with two other ones, right? My Maaser Sheni, let's assume, is in Beth Shemesh. It fell. Now, by the way, according to the current understanding of the Gemara, it has Shava Prutah. It's nice and big. Yeah, you have one big fruit of Maaser Sheni, Shava Prutah, nice big red apple. Yeah, and it fell into the other apples that are not Maaser, the regular chulin, and we say that it's bottle berov. It's bottle berov. Why is it bottle berov? Because really there is no chance for it. Why is there no chance for it? Because that mixture, including our friend Maaser Sheni, Shava Prutah, the way we see it now in the first shot, is really it came into Yerushalayim, it left Yerushalayim. I went to Yerushalayim to eat it. Your wife called you. You got to go to Mamila right now. This second, you run to Mamila. That's outside the walls. You go up the steps, and the apple is with you. So now there's nothing you can do with this apple, and now it's misbatel barov. It's batel barov. You can eat it outside Yerushalayim in Mamila. Mamila is outside the holy of Yerushalayim. Yeah, right between the shops over there, very unholy. And you eat the fruit, and it's batel barov. You tell me what's the problem? Why? Bring it back and eat it inside. You mean Yerushalayim is a one-time entry? That a rock concert? What is it? In other words, what? He came with the fruit inside. If nothing is Tomeh, if everything is Kodesh V'Tor, outside and back in, and I'll eat it inside Yerushalayim. B'tochich Yerushalayim, Mechatzos, we say tomorrow in Halal. And says the Gemara, very, very easy way out. B'shenitma, the tumah of Mamila caught on, and as you're in Mamila, your beautiful apple of Maaser Sheni, I prefer not saying apple, your zayis, te'ena, your grape, whatever, they were in Yerushalayim, they're out of Yerushalayim, and they became Tomeh. They became Tomeh outside Yerushalayim, and therefore you can't bring them to eat. Are you allowed to eat Maaser Sheni that's Tomeh? No. That's never debatable, by the way. Yeah, Tomeh cannot be eaten. That's not even a question. Don't go that way, it's just not. Yeah, Maaser Sheni cannot be eaten. Betuma, the Maaser Sheni is Tomeh. What can you do with it then? If you can't bring it back, there's no chance. There's no chance. What can you do if it's Tomeh? I'm surrounded by top tier Talmidei Chachamim. Frag the Gemara, v'nifreke, to redeem it, and we're going to bring a proof to that. Dama Blozo, Rab Lozo brings a very interesting raya. Dama Blozo, minayin the Maaser Sheni shenitma shepoidin oiso. How do you know the Maaser Sheni that's Tomeh became Tomeh? You're allowed to redeem it. Now listen to this. Afilu b'Yerushalayim. I'm sorry to change courses. I'll ask you now a question. What happens if, you brought, everything will be clear soon. You have your nice cluster of grapes, and your wife and children say, Daddy, this time we want to actually really make it to Yerushalayim. Stop this redeeming business. We want to really eat the grapes in Yerushalayim. Okay? You brought the grapes to Yerushalayim, but then you see this mouth-watering what? Bagel, burger, or either or, or some nice piece of chicken steak. And you say, am I freier? I'm going to eat the grapes. I can eat steak. You know what? Let's redeem the grapes in Yerushalayim. They are tahor. The good grapes tahor. Let's redeem the grapes in Yerushalayim from money, kesef, money, and geld, all three things. And with the geld, we'll buy the steak. Can I do that? No. Why? Because where is it? In Yerushalayim. Once in Yerushalayim, you have either or. Don't play Beidim Chasanas. You can either redeem outside Yerushalayim and bring the money and eat the steaks and the burgers, or eat it in Yerushalayim as a fruit. However, what happens if the grapes became Tomeh in Yerushalayim? You're in Yerushalayim, and a beautiful little Mickey Mouse died on the grapes. Right? So now you have a dead Achbar on the grapes, and they're Tomeh. Can you redeem it in Yerushalayim? Yes, but it's a Chiddush. We need a pasuk for that, a very interesting pasuk. How do you know that Tomeh Maaser Sheni can be redeemed outside or inside Yerushalayim regardless? Maaser Sheni is Tomeh, can be redeemed everywhere in Eretz Yisrael, in Arted Yerushalayim, that's a big one, because usually there's no shared space over here. How do you know? A very, very cool drasha. Shenemar, it says, Ki lo tuchal seisoy. What does it mean laset in Hebrew? Help me, I didn't go to a pan ever in my life. What does it mean laset? Laset, to carry, to take. So the Torah says, when you're allowed to take the money, redeem for money, you can't carry, it's too heavy. Says the Gemara, listen weiter, the ein ses el achila. Lases also means to eat, as we saw only a few weeks ago in the Torah. Shenemar vayisa maslis mesponov, right? When Yosef met with his brothers, in the process, he gave them food, right? When he already got to know them, so then, loy tuchel seisoy means two things. Either you can't carry, so you redeem it where outside in the Shemesh and take the money to Yerushalayim, or you can't eat it even inside Yerushalayim. Why can't you eat it? Not because you're on a diet. You can't eat it because it's tummy. But that regardless whether it's Yerushalayim or not Yerushalayim, I can't eat Maaser Sheni anywhere. Therefore, Maaser Sheni anywhere can be tummy. It's from the same word. Very cool. Wait, so if so, well, it's all very cool and nice, but the question remains. If we're talking here about Maaser Sheni, it's outside in Mamila, okay, wherever it is, in Kiryat Moshe, somewhere outside the walls, in Yamin Moshe, I meant. And what? And now it's Tomeh, some tumah fell on it. Then, at the end of the story, bottle barok. Why? Redeem it. It's outside the walls. Take money, do the pidyon, bring the money to Yerushalayim, and eat your favorite steak. Yeah, I can recommend the restaurant maybe. Yeah. Answers the Gemara, must be. Therefore, now we're changing courses. Ela belakuach bekesef Maaser Sheni. Change the picture in your mind. We're not talking about not grapes and not zaysim, not anything. We're talking here about the steak itself. In other words, I went to Yerushalayim without my grapes. I'm a nice Jewish boy. I changed the money where I redeemed and was poide in the Shemesh over the coins. I went with the coins. What did I do with the coins? I bought my favorite steaks in the favorite restaurant in the old city. Okay, I don't know if such a thing exists. Yeah. And what? And now I have the steak. And you know what happened? The steak went out of Yerushalayim. Yeah, with my sandwich with the steak inside, with the kosher Mahadrin hamburger, I ran out the wall by mistake, and now it's misbattled with the other burgers, whatever. Now there's no hope for it. Because it's not the Maaser, it's a change thing. Says the Gemara, excuse me, why? So what? Just because it's not the fruit, but it's something changed for the fruit, it's the fruit you bought with Maaser Sheni money, you can still redeem that too. That none. It says in the Mishnah, alakuach bekesef Maaser Sheni, food stuff bought with the Maaser Sheni money, shenitma, became tomeh. It's outside the wall or even inside the wall. It's inside, wherever it is, it's tomeh, right? The food that you bought with Maaser Sheni, it's a burger or lavdil, I don't know, milkshake. Yeah, then what? Then what do you do if it's tomeh? Hipode. Yeah, apparently, according to we see that you can do it again. However, answers the Gemara. We'll finish here. Rabbi Yehuda is Baruch's friend. Rabbi Yehuda says, Rabbi, there's a limit. Rabbi Yehuda says that if Maaser Sheni food, meaning that's been through one stage of the process, once upon a time it was a nice cluster of grapes or lemon in RBS, changed into money, in Yerushalayim changed into a nice fat, excuse me for saying fat steak, yeah, nice steak, and now the steak became tomeh. Some say redeem it again and feel good about yourself. Rabbi Yehuda says you have to bury it. Rabbi Yehuda says that's the point of no return. That's the end of the story. You can't redeem again. I'm not sure the droshes, maybe we'll discuss later, but that's what Rabbi Yehuda learns. Yeah, and therefore there's no remedy for that. Once it's out of the wall and it's what? It's tomeh. Once it's tomeh and it's not the Maaser, it's the steak and the chips, whatever, the fish, not fish, not fish. You can't buy fish with Maaser Sheni money. I'm sorry, British people. No fish and chips for the Maaser Sheni money. You'll have to deal with something else. Steak and chips, okay, if you don't mind. So the steak and chip, or the marmite, you can buy that with the money of Maaser Sheni. If that became tomeh, end of line. That's a no entry sign. Now the Gemara is going to ask a question, and it will be tomorrow. If so, why did it have to go out of the wall? Even if it's inside the wall, there's no remedy. That's going to be the question for tomorrow. We're very much in the middle of the story. Thank you very much. Atzlocho, have questions? Yes. Yaakov HaKohen. Comes to Maaser Sheni, you're not different to us. I'm sorry. Same thing for everybody, Maaser Sheni. Yeah.